Now children, next part is your next part of Himalayan drainage. We can see Indus River. The Trans-Himalayan Indus River rises near the Mansarovar Lake on the Tibetan Plateau. It enters the Himalayan in southeastern Ladakh near its confluence with river Urtang at elevation of 4,200 meters. So already I told you, river Indus, westward flowing river. Its origin is from Mansarovar Lake on Tibetan Plateau, and it is confluence with river Urtang at elevation of 4,200 meters. Indus River thereafter it follows a north by northwest course between towering Ladakh range in the north and Jaskar range in the south. There are a number of human settlements that lies along Indus River in Ladakh, namely Leh, Marol, Sakhardu and Bunj. So human settlement, already we know that human settlement it is always near river banks. So Indus River, it is west flowing river, origin from Mansarovar Lake in Ladakh, Tibetan Plateau, and it goes or flows towards Ladakh range, towards north and Jaskar range in the south. And there are number of human settlement. So the population, whatever the population is there in this area, it is near Indus River, namely Leh, Marol, Sukhrudu and Bunj. These are the important places where the human settlement we can find near river Indus. River Indus rises near Mansarovar in Tibet. Its tributaries in India are Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. See, these five important rivers, they are also the lifeline of the state Punjab. Why we know that Punjab is a place where the soil is much fertile in our country, and compared to other states, the Punjab or this place is known as breadbasket of our country because of these five rivers. Due to these five rivers, the availability of alluvial soil is there, and you know alluvial soil is very conducive for agriculture. So river Indus, when it crosses Ladakh or when complete its journey in Jammu, it flows towards Punjab. So it is going towards western part of country, that is westward flowing river. So river Indus rises near Mansarovar in Tibet, and its tributaries in India Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. So these are also known as five sisters. See, you can see the pictures of these rivers: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. The very name of these rivers roll like music. Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. Their ancient names were more musical still: Vidasta, Akshini, Iravati, Vipasa and Shatradu. See, these names, because already we know that in our country, rivers, they are having some kind of mythological stories or some mythological beliefs are there. They are very important from point of view of human life. So they also got their ancient Sanskrit name or ancient mythological name. So you should also know this. Now we'll see Ganga River. Ganga River, as the name Ganga River, it is very sacred river in the Hindu mythology, or you can say very important river for Hindu religion. The Gangotri Glacier, a vast expanse of ice 5 miles by 15 at the foothills of Himalayas, 14,000 feet in North Uttar Pradesh, is a source of Bhagirathi, which joins with Alaknanda to form Ganga at the craggy canyon carved town of Dev Prayag. So, Ganga River origin from glacier, and it's the source of Bhagirathi, which joins with Alaknanda, to form river Ganga. So, river Ganga is formed with the Alaknanda and Bhagirathi. Together they form Ganga and canyon carved town of Dev Prayag. So Dev Prayag, we can say Dev Prayag is a place where it gets its origin. The river Ganga starts from Dev Prayag. So all these places are there in Rishikesh. The combined flow of river Bhagirathi and river Alaknanda is called river Ganga. Understood? So river Ganga is a combined flow of river Bhagirathi and river Alaknanda. The Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandak and Kosi are its tributaries. So likewise, Indus River, they got also, it is also having 5 tributaries. Ganga River is also having, see, all these tributaries, they are also very important. They are the lifeline of the people living in the northern plain. Understood? That is why from wherever the river Ganga is passing, the place is very fertile, the place is very conducive for agriculture. So you know that northern belt is very important from point of view of agriculture. Now if you come to extreme northeastern part, the third important part of Himalayan range river or Himalayan river, that is in eastern side, is Brahmaputra river. One of the great river of Asia, the Brahmaputra commenced its 3000 km journey to Bay of Bengal from the slopes of Kailash in western Tibet. See, another river which got its origin from Kailash in western Tibet as Tibet's greater river, the Sangpo. There the name is different, it is Sangpo, transverses east across high altitude Tibetan plateau north of the great Himalayan range, carving out myriad channels and sandbanks on its way. So its journey is towards eastern side, crossing so many places and going towards Arunachal Pradesh and coming towards Sundarban or Bay of Bengal. So the journey is very long. So but this Brahmaputra river, it is the lifeline of northeastern part of our country. So there the name is different, it is Sangpo, and when it enters in our country, the name is Brahmaputra. The Brahmaputra rises in Tibet and runs a long distance till it enters India in Arunachal Pradesh, where it is called Dihang, and eastward flow thereafter it is called Brahmaputra. River Subhansiri is its principal tributary. So river Brahmaputra got also another tributary which is very important. Its the name is river Subhansiri. From time to time, Ganga meets its tributaries and hence its discharge increases. See, whenever any major river, it flows along with its tributaries or various other small rivers, naturally the discharge or the volume of river will increase. Understood? Like whenever we mix one liquid with another liquid, so naturally the volume will increase, the amount will increase. So likewise, when a major river it start flowing with its tributaries, the discharge will increase. River Brahmaputra joins Ganga at its tributary in Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is another place where our neighboring country in extreme eastern side, where the river Brahmaputra is also flowing. Understood? River Brahmaputra joins Ganga at its tributary in Bangladesh. There, Bangladesh, the river Ganga is known as river Padma. The huge volume of water and deposition has led to formation of large delta. See, delta formation is there because of sediments which the river is carrying from its origin along with its journey. So during its course of journey, whenever it flowing towards so many places, so many states, crossing towards so many states, so many composition of soils is different. So whenever it flows towards sea, there the sediment is more. Remember children, one very important thing, now as we are studying about India, as we are studying about rivers flowing towards western side and rivers flowing eastern side, remember one very important thing, all those rivers which flows towards eastern side carries much more sediments. Understood? Sediments, remember, river always carries sediments along with its journey. So all those rivers which flow towards eastern side and join towards Bay of Bengal, they carries much more sediments compared to west flowing rivers. So we can find delta formation in eastern side of our country, that is Sundarban Delta. The huge volume of water and deposition has led to formation of large delta. Besides this, Himalayan river Ganga also receive a number of peninsular rivers at its tributaries like Chambal, Ken, Betwa, Son, Damodar, etc. So apart from other tributaries, these tributaries also there, and together they form a big delta, a large delta called Sundarban. Understood? So deposition is more here. So river Ganga is having so many tributaries. River Brahmaputra is also joining river Ganga.